Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Mindset to Manifest podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And we are going to be talking about a hot topic, especially since we are at the end of February. The second month of the year already is coming to a close. So I figured it would be very relevant to talk about the topic of progress, as you can see from the video title. And progress is something that is not stressed enough in the manifestation world. I think we talk a lot about persistence, but we don't really talk about measuring our progress and celebrating our progress and what progress really is in terms of law of assumption and birds before land and so on. So let's get right into the discussion here. It is really sad to me how often we find ourselves comparing our progress with everyone else around us rather than celebrating. And I'm a really big supporter of celebrating your little wins. I think it is totally okay if you are manifesting something. Let's say you're manifesting weight loss and you have a total goal of 80 pounds. I think you should celebrate every 5 pounds you lose. I think that it is so important to continue that momentum, continue the excitement you have for reaching a goal, for, manifesting a particular desire. And celebrating the small wins along the way is huge. As many of you may know, I am a mama, and I have just recently put on a pair of jeans that I wore before my pregnancy. And to be fair, they're stretchy, but I was able to get them on and wear them for several hours without being uncomfortable, which is a huge win. I know that, our bodies are designed to change and shift as we grow tiny humans, but it can still be a struggle, especially if you're someone who did lose weight before becoming pregnant and then you gain weight back during the pregnancy. It can be a little bit frustrating to feel like you've backtracked a little bit. But rather than focusing on the lack, focusing on the fact that you gained weight and, being obsessed with that, you can instead say, okay, what am I doing right? Even if you haven't lost weight yet, right? What am I doing right? And let me celebrate what I'm doing right. And then when you do have progress, like, you see the scale shifting and you feel your clothes fitting better, celebrate that. Celebrate every single step of the way, because it's going to reinforce all of the behaviors that you are doing to reach your ultimate goal. Of course, this isn't just for weight loss. This is also for manifesting a specific person. Celebrate manifesting a text message. Celebrate manifesting them getting you flowers or buying you jewelry or doing something nice for you. Celebrate any amount of progress that you see and really focus on it. One of the worst things you can do for your manifestation in any way, shape, or form is focus on what you're lacking. Focus on all the things that you don't have currently, all the things that you feel a longing for, that you feel like you're missing out on. That is just going to destroy your progress, and it's going to make you feel awful. When we are stuck in a mindset of focusing on all the things we don't have yet, we are not able to celebrate what we do have, and we're not able to fully express gratitude. And it's not the gratitude that manifests. It's the fact that when we are living in gratitude, when we are celebrating every part of our life, no matter how small, what we're not doing is complaining. What we are not doing is being ungrateful. What we are not doing is wasting our precious time and energy focusing on things that we don't want more of. When you focus on something, you are telling your brain, this is important to me. And your brain is a neutral tool. It can only do what you tell it to do. So when you focus on what you don't have, you're telling your brain, this is important. The fact that I don't have it is very important. And you're essentially over time programming yourself to look for lack. You have a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And its one job is to remember what's important and show you more of it. This allows you to filter the mass of information coming towards you in everyday life It helps you to reduce the energy you spend thinking about things and allows you to direct your thoughts more effectively. That being said, the tool itself, the RAS itself, is limited in how you program it. So you have to teach it what is important, and then once it knows what is important, it's just going to keep saying, hey, there's that thing. Hey, there's that thing. Hey, there's that thing. You said this is important, so I'm going to point it out to you every time it comes up. Well, when you do this with lack, what you're sharing with your subconscious is, this is so important to me. I want you to help me focus on this more and more and more. And this is anti-progress. This is the quickest way to disturb any progress that you've made and backtrack into the version of yourself that you used to be. So what we want to do instead is use that reticular activating system. Use that tool that's built into our brain by design and say, progress is important to me. Little wins are important to me. Anytime I see signs or synchronicities, that's important to me. And not only are you going to do this repeatedly until it sticks, but get more and more excited on the progress you made. You know, in the beginning, it can feel a little bit like, oh, why am I celebrating 5 pounds if I still have 75 pounds to lose? Or if you have a goal of making $100,000 a year and you only make a sale and earn $100, at first you're going to be like, oh, okay, but it's only $100. But over time, you will decondition yourself to see the lack. You will deprogram your reticular activating system to be so focused on the lack, and instead you will see the cup half full rather than half empty by celebrating your progress. There are many things you can do to celebrate your progress. Prior to baby, I was very routine in making Fridays my day that I took myself out on a date, on a self date. I would usually go to a cafe and have a little sweet treat and a nice little coffee and just feel good. Just sit in the moment, be present, think about the wins that I have, accomplished in the past week or the past few weeks, and just sit in a space where I'm appreciating myself. Even if you don't have the means to go out every week to treat yourself in that way, you can do this at home by fixing yourself a nice little snack and a beverage of your choice and just sit in the same spot every time in your home and make it a practice of celebrating the progress you've made. You can also, if you're someone who likes to write things down, keep a notebook, and for me it was every Friday, every time that you sit down and do these little, celebratory progress tracking dates, you just write down a few things that are good about yourself, a few things that you're proud of yourself for, a few things that are worth celebrating, and really sit there and celebrate them. Celebrate the progress that you've made, because if you don't reward yourself for the progress, you will be in this state of constantly chasing. Once you hit a goal, you'll just be chasing the next goal. Once you do make the progress that you said would make you happy, you're not even going to spend much time celebrating if you don't make the habit of celebrating your progress now. When you celebrate the small stuff, the big stuff feels that much sweeter. And I know it doesn't seem that way if you've not practiced it, but as someone who's made this a normal part of my routine, a normal part of my life, the more that I celebrate the small goodness in my life, the richer I feel when the big wins come in. And again, with everything else in manifestation, just try it. I can tell you all day long what works for me. I can tell you all day long what I've heard works for other people, but you don't know until you actually practice and embody it. So I highly encourage you, this is your homework for this episode, is to utilize the reticular activating system in your favor and teach your brain to celebrate small wins. Teach your brain that on a regular basis, it will be rewarded for these small wins. And what you can do as well, once you start practicing this, habit of being kind to yourself when you do something successfully, increase the payoff. So, of course, there's something called intrinsic value. This means if I lose a certain amount of weight, that's going to feel good because that was my goal, and I feel really good about losing that weight. But now I'm going to add an additional extrinsic reward of buying myself a new top, right? Let's say for every 20 pounds I lose, if my goal is to lose 80 pounds, let's say every time I lose 20 pounds, I get to go shopping and I get to treat myself to a new top, a new blouse. That is going to double reinforce the reward of the progress I've made. So there's so many ways that we can utilize our psychology and utilize the features of our human behavior to instill a positive habit, a positive momentum of seeking out goals that we have set for ourselves, and like seeking to accomplish those and making ourselves feel so good about ourselves. I think that this is something that everyone in this day and age is lacking for some reason or another. Some people feel like they're crushed under the weight of financial burdens. Some people feel as though their bodies or their looks can never compare to other women. Some people are just struggling to find a healthy relationship or a good relationship for them, find even a partnership to see if they can pursue or create a healthy relationship. And especially with social media, there's so many people telling you that you're not doing enough, you're not hustling enough, you are failing at life. And I'm kind of anti-social media in that way. I use social media as a tool to reinforce my progress. I use it as a tool to look at what is possible for me and say, if she can do it, I can do it too. So at the very least, let this podcast and this channel be something positive for you. Let yourself see the progress I'm making and know that I'm just a girl. I am just another woman here on this planet, just like you. There is nothing particularly special about me that you can't also embody. So if I can successfully lose 80 pounds, if I can successfully manifest a marriage and have a beautiful family and live the quality of life I desire to live, you can have that too. And it starts with those small wins. It starts with the little bit of progress that you can make from wherever you're at. Remember that you are not starting in the same position as anybody else. Your circumstances and your life and the qualities that make you who you are unique and individual to you. So if you feel like you're comparing yourself to someone else, remind yourself that you are doing the best you can as you, with the options you have available to you, with the resources at your disposal, and you are on the right track. Manifestation is way more about consistency than anything else. Are you consistently being the most successful and confident version of yourself? Are you consistently focusing on lack? And which one do you think is yielding the best results for you? I know in my case, when I found conscious manifestation, I had so many awful habits, and it's no wonder I felt like crap every day. I was not happy with my body. I was not happy with my mind. I was not happy with my home, my relationships, my financial status. I was pretty much unsatisfied with everything in life. That's because I had been conditioning my brain to focus on all the things I didn't have. And I was actually physically unable to celebrate any progress I made because, like I mentioned, I would make progress and then my focus would immediately shift to, okay, what's the next goal? Maybe I would celebrate a little bit, but ultimately it was pretty much a very sad celebration. It was like, okay, cool, I did that. I still don't feel adequate. I still don't feel good enough. So let me go chase another goal aimlessly, blindly, just for the sake of feeling good for that little bit of time, that tiny moment, and then I'm just going to jump to the next goal. And now that I don't live that way anymore, now that I am no longer that person and I actually do genuinely celebrate my wins, no matter how small they seem, I have all of this momentum and confidence that is pushing me towards success in my life, that is fueling the desire to do better and have more experiences and live a richer life. And I don't just mean financially rich, but I mean spiritually rich, mentally rich, emotionally rich. And all of this is due to the fact that I have consistently chosen to, for one, make progress, but for two, have a healthy and positive relationship with that progress. I would not be where I am today in life, in my health, in my business, or in my relationships if it were not for the fact that I truly do love myself and celebrate myself for the small wins that I create. Wherever you are right now, whatever circumstances you're facing, whatever your desire is or your goals, I know very well that you are capable of achieving them. It is a matter of allowing yourself to make progress and credit yourself with that progress so that you can teach your brain that progress is what's best for you, that progress is important to you, and that you feel good about yourself when you make progress. I intend that this podcast episode is helping you to change your relationship with yourself and especially take the focus off comparing yourself to anybody else's journey and instead turn within, connect with yourself, and be still and sit in the pride of all of the successes you've already created. So many of us seek out content on manifestation because we feel really far away from something that we're longing for. And a lot of our desires seem very large or far away or big compared to where we're at in this current state in life. But don't let that erase how much progress you've already made in your life. Don't let that erase all of the wins you have already manifested for yourself. Don't let that erase all of the success you have already created in your life. Take a moment right now and celebrate. Reflect on the past 5 years. What are the positive changes that you've made? What are the changes you've sustained that have been beneficial for your life? How have your relationships improved, including the relationship you have with yourself? And what wins can you remind yourself that you've accomplished that you can still celebrate today? Thank you so much for being part of the Confidence Club Premium membership. I really love doing these podcast episodes. And if you have any recommendations for topics of these episodes, these sessions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I am very excited about the topic of manifestation and spiritual development. So I'm always looking for new ways to inspire my audience, to help you feel empowered and to give you hope that your life can be beautiful and you can achieve the desires that you so strongly feel called to achieve, so long as you persist. I appreciate you for being here, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.